And when you all go to speak, if you just can state your name and your title for the records, that way we can accommodate for that. But thank you all for being here today. We appreciate you, and we look forward to hearing from you in great detail. So I just want to make sure we keep track of time. We have until 1:15, but if we need more time, just let me know, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
so we're the Department of Waterworks. I'm Corey Cameron, I'm the Director of Waterworks.
I'm Ron Clapper, I'm the superintendent of the water plant.
Trey Claver-Wyden, Superintendent of Utilities.
And Connie Luffman is on vacation, wastewater plant superintendent, so I'm going to speak for her today. So the majority of our budget accounts there's no real changes. There's a few in the essential items. Pretty much everything else is balanced. We balanced it around. We've got a couple things. Did you have any?
I didn't have any.
Yeah, I think it's just in wastewater. We had a chemical increase due to the cost of chemicals are increasing. Tariffs are starting to hit us, contract pricing. Ron just had a contractor reach out yesterday. We've got one on the wastewater side where we're going for a change order on Monday, or for a new purchase order, because prices are just changing. So chemicals, are going to go up on us again. So we've got an increase in the chemical budget. It's like $200,000. We also, and this is under 86083, I'm sorry, 546004. So that's the one increase we had. That's for the wastewater treatment plant.
How do you verify that? I got a carburetor I'm selling to you for your 1976. I order it, and in the meantime, there's a tariff on.
Well,
I'm
trust
increasing
me,
the price.
Jennifer vets them very, yeah, she's
Do they have
tough.
to- I was going to say, they have to provide some documentation?
Yeah,
Okay.
they do, because we lock in with 3-year contracts when they will. Sometimes they'll only lock in for 1 year
There
or
is a
6
process.
months now. But if it's going to cause them a hardship, they can come back to us and say, this price is increasing, here's why, and then we go back through purchasing. Jennifer will check it out, and she will pull them down as much as she possibly can. I've seen her do it. She does a good job at that, so she'll keep it as tight as she possibly can. But, if it's going to cause the company a hardship, we have to increase the price, so anyway, we're preparing for that. So also under 86083 and 534302, we increased the repairs and maintenance by about $200,000. We're pretty dependent on our B&R grant now that we get every year, which is a grant that the state gives us from MDE, just because our plant's meeting all the checks, and we're doing really well. So we've been getting some really big grants back the last probably 3 to 5 years, about $400,000. We feel like moving forward, that grant money is not going to be there. We're pretty dependent on that money now at the plant to take care of repairs at the plant. That's what it's for, is for maintenance at the plant. The plant upgrades about 7 years in now. We're starting to have lots of things that need to be fixed at the plant, so we feel like we need to beef up our maintenance costs at the plant so we have something, because we're not sure that grant money will be there, at least not to the extent what we've been getting the last couple of years. We've been getting about $400,000 and some the last couple of years, and we're spending it at the plant on repairs. But if that dries up, we still have to fix the plant. So we're thinking, even if it goes back to half, we're preparing for some. So that's what that's for. I guess maybe, should I just stick with wastewater while I started there?
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we're also asking for 2 new positions at the wastewater treatment plant. We're foreseeing some big retirements in the next year in our department, and especially in the wastewater treatment plant. We're going to have the operations chief and the maintenance chief are planning to retire within the next year, possibly. So, well, pretty sure. So anyway, losing them is going to be a big hit to the plant. and they're going to be hard to replace. So one thing we're looking for on the maintenance side is adding another maintenance supervisor. We've got one maintenance supervisor underneath of the maintenance chief, and we're thinking about adding another one. We have more lift stations now than ever before, and because the plant upgrade is starting to take on some age, there's more work to do inside of the plant. So we were thinking about, we have 8 maintenance mechanics. We were thinking about breaking them each in half, putting a supervisor with each one, kind of like what we have with utilities. We have a utility section chief, and they have a crew and they go work with. We're thinking of taking one crew, putting them out in the field with strictly lift stations, because the lift stations have to be checked regularly, documented. You know, we have to do due diligence that we're taking care of them. And then the other crew would work with that supervisor within the plant and take care of the plant maintenance. So, and we feel like we're going to need this extra help to make up for some of the retirements. We're still going to hire someone else, but we're losing a whole lot of knowledge right there with that position. So, then on the other side, we also want to add an assistant superintendent, which is a position we had at the plant before the plant upgrade, and then they did a big reorg and got rid of the assistant superintendent, not thinking they needed that position so much, but now we're thinking we need that position back. There's more state reporting, more regulations. MDE's doing a big overhaul of their pre-treatment program, which in a sense will come down on us because EPA just came down on them. Connie doesn't have a real backup because she doesn't have an assistant superintendent. And for instance, she's on vacation in Ohio. This morning at 5 in the morning, I'm on the phone with her because there was an emergency at the plant where the UV went down, and who's our resident expert on the UV but Connie? You know, so she doesn't have that person right there. We've got Mike, who's specializes in operation, and we've got Art on the maintenance, but there are a lot of other things at the plant and Connie takes it all on her shoulders, so we're starting to feel that she's going to need some help with an assistant. So we have an assistant in utilities, we have an assistant at the water plant, but that's a position we eliminated about 7 years ago at wastewater.
Question for you. So again, the funds here that are in the mayor's approved funding request, and again, Mr. Kitzer, if you want to chime in here as well, that's for a full fiscal year, and I know we want to.
Including the benefits.
Including benefits, right, you know, fringe and everything. So are we, and again, I know you have an idea of when these persons are retiring, but are we going to solicit these? Is this going to be for a full year that we're going to be hiring these folks, or are we thinking a few months out from the fiscal year?
No, this will be a full year. These are positions besides the 2 positions that are retiring.
Right, but I'm saying, are we going to?
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
If approved, we would start budgeting them and trying to recruit for those positions immediately, understanding that the budget is not ultimately adopted to the middle of June.
Right.
You then have 30, 60 days, 90 days before you probably actually hire anybody.
Okay.
If we're going outside, it's not internal. So if you like the 2 positions, but you want to fund them at a non-full year capacity, that is a possibility.
Okay. I would just see if we were getting any savings. I don't know if you were going to try
I
to
mean,
line it up
Yeah,
with.
this is a full
It will
year,
take a couple
right.
months
Sure.
to get, to go through the hiring process.
Yeah, this is a July 1st hire, full hire for these, the 201.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So that was pretty much the gist of that. Oh, and also there's going to be, PFAS is going to become a thing at wastewater, so that's something else we're going to put on the assistant superintendent.
Ooh, lucky them.
Getting
My
up on,
goodness.
getting up to speed. I mean,
way you
it's
said
just, it's a lot, and it's like, Connie handles the sampling over there now for PFAS because it's so difficult to do, and there's just so much that she takes on her shoulders that, or to the point where she needs some help, and we're seeing that we're finding now that it wasn't a good idea to eliminate that position. So, then we have the salaries in there under essential items for the career ladders at the wastewater treatment plant, as well. And then under vehicles for the wastewater treatment plant, we have 1 new dump truck for biosolids and 2 F-350 utility bodies for the maintenance crews, trucks that are in there. And that's everything for wastewater.
Okay, council, any questions or comments on the wastewater side of the house? Okay.
Okay. Do you want to do your couple?
Yeah, so,
You can turn the little, yep, thank you.
yeah, so mainly for us, it's just vehicles. We have a hemorrhaging fleet right now, antiquated. So the utility body that we're asking for would replace one that the cab is literally rusted off of. We can't drive it. And the 2 vans would replace the Ford Rangers that haven't been made in 15, 20 years, the old style. So that's pretty much it for us.
Mr. Kitcher, is this on the mayor's approved funding request, or is this on the
CIP.
CIP?
Yep, if you go about halfway down, you'll see all the WWs, and you can start working your way through utility body
I just want to make
duals.
sure I'm tracking this, sorry.
Yep.
1 second.
I apologize. It would-
No, you're fine. We got okay.
Yeah, do you want to go through all the CIP things that were approved, or
I don't think we need to go
questions
through
on any of them, or?
the big, hold on, I'm going to go through the big ticket items here. PFAS.
I think just in general terms, when they're finished talking, we can talk a little about rates,
good. So if you wanna-
increases, and kind of the overall.
Talk about the cap first, in that structure there. If you were going to talk about the actual vehicles and then move on from there, if we have any questions.
So the, what was it? Yeah, so it's an F-350 utility body. It's a full service body truck. It's replacing, like I said, truck that's about 15 years old. Cab's rusting off of it, full front end rebuild. We got an estimate to be about $15,000 just to get the truck on the road again. And the 2 transit vans would just be the compact transits, just for the meter readers.
Any questions about the vehicles? I know we have a dump truck in there as well.
That's biosolids.
Okay.
Wastewater plant, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's not the one, I know maybe I'm merging. Did we already, we just,
I think Field Ops was looking for one.
that was field ops, okay, so this is for you all,
Yeah.
okay.
We purchased one in 2022, we
So no, that was-
just got it. So,
I'm still waiting for one.
so, yeah, but they're coming faster now
Yeah.
than they were back then.
Okay.
But, yeah, so this is, our fleet of biosolids is not in good shape.
Yeah.
We need some new.
On that,
Yeah.
on that point, which is what we did with the dump trucks, I think we're gonna try to make go out and buy a late model, one that's already ready, unless there's anything special about it.
The biosolid ones have to be retrofitted with baffles and
Yeah,
lots of
okay.
things so that they can't leak and
Yeah.
all that good fun stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would want that.
You don't want to leak in that, no,
Yeah.
Not,
no,
not in my neighborhood anyway.
yeah. Okay. Anything else?
That's for that. No, everything else is just, is CIP. All Ron's things are CIP.
Yep,
If we had a 0 budget, so we didn't change.
Yep.
anything. Moved some money around, but didn't ask for anything.
okay. Is there anything?
$8 million, but didn't ask.
Oh, yeah, right. We're trying to, I was trying to avoid that one now. Yeah, that's in there. Can you just talk to us about I know we had the pump station force, and then there was the metering, the West Side Water Tower, and then there was the automated metering infrastructure. Can you talk about those items? Those were ones I just wanted a little more detail on.
Talk about the
Yeah,
meters.
so we're looking to move into the AMI system. So
Okay.
we're on radio read right now, so the guys have to go out and drive and physically read meters still.
Okay,
This technology, we can read them remotely. You can use the interface. People can get alerts that we don't have to go put door hangers out for it anymore. So you can get alerts right to your phone. You have a leak or, bills past due.
okay.
More interactive.
Yeah, we're in the process of purchasing those now. We're just getting so many each year.
It's been a slow process. We've
Okay.
been
Yeah.
5 or 6 years just
Yeah,
trying to
because
get to where we're
it
at.
was like a $5 million total project, so we're spending about $300,000 a year working on it, chunking it out each year.
The water, no, that wasn't, if you want to discuss some items that weren't funded or some of your essential items as well, we can hear about those items too.
Well, you brought up West Side Water Tower. I just now got a purchase order issued, so we're going to get the water model going and start citing that, planning for future growth. So
Okay.
we don't have 100% plan for that water tower yet, so, we kind of have to there's a water model that lives in DID that I'm going to take back from them, and we're going to I just hired an engineer to get it running for us again, and then I have 2 people on the water plant staff that are going to learn how to work that, and then we can watch the flows through the city and everything else. We're pretty sure this tank needs to go on the west side, but exactly where is going to be the best spot, we're going to figure that out within this year.
Okay, so that next year when we're-
So we could push that out.
Okay.
Figure it out. We're looking to take down Edgemore, which was approved this
Sure.
year.
Yes.
So that tank really doesn't work. The plant overpowers it. Ever since we put SU Tower up and Edgemore, it overpowers it. I don't know if you want to talk about it a little bit, but it's kind of just, it's only there if there were a fire in the neighborhood or something like that.
Basically, if anything happened right around there, it works. Otherwise, we have to pump out of it just to move it to keep the water fresh. So, and it's
Yeah, we
covered
force
in,
water out of it every night.
it's an ugly eyesore that needs to be.
Yeah.
It's got lead paint on it, so
Beautiful.
to do the lead abatement and all
Yes.
that would cost us a fortune. So
For-
it would make more sense just to take it down and then put another tank on the west side of town. I know people are complaining because it's an eyesore, but it's going to cost a whole lot more to paint it than it is to take it down because of the lead paint.
Council, any other?
I felt very sorry for you and the CIP needing 12 new vehicles.
Yes.
Well, most of our vehicles are on the road every day.
Yeah.
Day, all
they're-
night.
Yeah, and night, yeah, so they're out there and they're doing dirty jobs, so and they're running all the time when they're out there, so they take a lot of abuse, and some of them are getting pretty old.
Yeah.
When I was out last week, and I was watching with some of the vehicles out there, and I was just again, they're like I said, they're running and they're running to do all the work that's
Yeah,
happening,
equipment off of 'em and
and again,
stuff,
they
yeah.
looked pretty aged while they were out there.
Yeah,
so.
and some of them, even if they don't have the miles on them, those motors
Those
have been running,
yeah.
because they're running
A lot of stock.
equipment off of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And
We'll s-
they're involved in a lot of big construction projects, yes.
Yes. Administration, anything else you want to add to this?
Just as you have water and sewer, is what we're talking about specifically within that fund. In our budget highlights this morning, all of this is possible with a rate increase of 6%
Yes.
on water and sewer. So it is funded because of that increase. Originally, we were looking at about a 12% increase, and we were able to tighten the belt and defer some of these vehicles and some of the other things for future years to try to keep it, that increase manageable. But like anything, as PFAS, as we're staring down some of that in the future.
Sure.
Hopefully, we get some grant funding. Some of this budget is built on revenues from a settlement with PFAS, so we're already including some of that revenue. But we have a steep hill to climb in the next few years
Yeah.
if the regulations continue through MDE for PFAS treatment that are going to come with some big ticket prices. Hopefully, we can get some grant funding or some, think creatively. But we are on this steep trajectory, and we brought it up a little bit in the CIP conversation on how big of that number actually is. And,
It's challenging,
yeah, so it's challenging.
real challenging. I'm not sure how smaller municipalities, even smaller than us, could even do it. It's going to come at the expense of something, fire, police,
Right.
streets, whatever, so.
Yeah. And I think so. I think my fellow council members would agree. This is another piece where being sensitive to what's going on around the city, but with that PFAS and that it's going to sort of directly correlate with a rate increase. We should if we do plan to adopt that 6%. Again, it's going to directly affect our residents' pocketbooks. That we should explain. This is the why. I know we explained last year was because of the
Absolutely.
chemicals, and
Yeah.
we did, but we should also highlight that it's because we have a lot of aging pipes, some from the 20s, which is crazy. But the PFAS and all this, I think we should take this opportunity to explain that, because they're going to hear 6% increase, and you're going to say, but it's the same water. I'm not flushing my toilet any more than I have in the past, but we got to explain the why. I think we should explain the why.
Yeah, and I mean, and everything else is gone.
Everything else is
too.
gone, yeah.
Like, everything else at the store, everything else we're buying for our departments is gone,
Yeah,
like through
yeah.
the roof. It's crazy, so.
Director Cameron, I was asking Ms. Green earlier with the financial report and the analysis of the city about any other revenues. I know that with our water sewer fund, that those funds are protected. They have to be used for that. Are there any, other than water and sewer increases and collection fees there, is there any other ways that you're seeing from different municipalities and counties of ways that they're getting creative with increasing revenues or capturing fees to try to fund these projects or fund just their operations?
Not sure.
Paleo water,
Yeah.
bottle it,
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
it.
right.
Bottle of water.
Yeah, I just,
Pass out first.
I'm just looking, I'm trying to look 5 years out, and I'm like,
Right.
if we're, 6%, and we're gonna go 8%, at some point, it's gonna we're gonna reach a cap, and so.
Yeah, I've sat in some, meetings at some conferences, some interesting things that I'm trying to get Megan, who's my program specialist, a little bit interested in. WSSC has a really good program. I don't know if you know who they are, Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission
Okay.
across the bridge. Okay, they have a really excellent program working with people who are struggling to pay their bills, and they're finding they have lots of creative ways that they're using to work with these people. And I was really impressed with that program, because they were like, turning the water off isn't solving the problem. These are people that are struggling to begin with. So, I mean, they're going in and they're helping these people to fix the leaks and do some things, and which these automatic meter reading will help us with stuff like that, because we can catch things up front. But I don't know, they have a really good program, and we can look into something like that a little
Sure.
further to work
Yeah.
with the consumers.
Yeah.
Things like that
Yeah.
are creative things, I would think.
I appreciate it.
One other thing I'll just bring up, as each one of our systems have capacity, we still can bring additional users on, and there's a cost to treat or to produce the water, distribute the water, but the capital infrastructure exists. So as we grow our community with additional residential units and our commercial units, there will be additional users, that will be additional revenue that will come into the system we already have the infrastructure built out in the treatment facility. So there will be hopefully some more revenue that will be brought into the water and sewer enterprise fund by just growth in residential units and such, so.
Thank you for mentioning that. I'm going to research it myself, but appreciate you all looking.
You can find it on their website.
Yeah.
I think I looked at it one time.
Good.
But yeah, I sat in on a seminar with the women that are running that, and I was really impressed.
Yeah.
Some of their ideas were pretty neat.
Council, any other questions, concerns? Anything else?
So, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate the work you all are doing. We know the struggles, but again, anything we can do to help, and of course, we appreciate the reporting on the PFAS and everything else going on, so we'll continue to see you
Yeah.
at our meetings, but thank you all for what you do.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.